Shalom. This is your brother Yashamai. Before I get into this message, I want to start out by giving all praises, all glory, and all honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kwakatash. I want to give double honor to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, whom rule and teach well, whom I learn from daily. I want to send a sincere shalom to all the fellow brothers that are pushing this truth in sincerity. This this is going to be a message that is going to be uncovering what may be a stumbling block to most newcomers of this truth, and that is the thermonuclear destruction of America, which is Babylon the Great. Now, I can tell you through personal experience when I first came into the truth, when I first heard about America being destroyed, it just seemed like a complete oddity to me. It seemed like it just seemed like that could never happen. And then the thought came into my head that I've never read that in scripture, though I was wrong, and I'm going to prove that point. And then also, but going back to the first thoughts that most newcomers will have when they hear about thermonuclear destruction is, what's the first thought? Is America cannot be destroyed. It's too strong. But I can tell you this, that during the height of the Aztec Empire, during the height of the Roman Empire, they also thought that their empires would never fail. At the height of Genghis Khan, at the height of Pharaoh's empire, all of these great empires were doing things in the world that other nations were not doing, but yet they failed. But if you were able to have a time travel machine and go back and tell somebody at that time that their empire was going to fail, they would look at you crazy. And that's exactly what happens nowadays when we bring this up in scripture. But the fact is, scripture tells us that there is thermonuclear destruction headed for America. The first scripture that I want to start off with is 2nd Ezra 16 and 12. And it reads as follows: The earth quaketh, and the foundations thereof. The sea arises up with waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also before the Most High, and before the glory of his power. Verse 13: For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shoots are sharp and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. So these aren't arrows these arrows are not talking about a bow and arrow, because what kind of bow and arrow can be shot from one land onto the other four corners of the earth? These bow and arrows are the thermonuclear destruction being shot to America by other nations. And I want to bring up that Yahweh is bringing this destruction to America. Okay? Um, let's unpack that, because, see, when Yahweh sends judgment, most of the time it comes through others. Now, there are times in the Old Testament where, well, even in Egypt, Yahweh sent his death angel, but most of the other times when Yahweh sends judgment, that judgment comes through other nations. I'm going to show you guys an example of that, because every time Israel would go off, Yahweh would bring judgment, but it wasn't Yahweh coming down all the time and executing judgment. It was Yahweh bringing forth nations to bring that judgment. I'm going to show this in Isaiah 10 and 5. Isaiah 10 and 5 states, O Assyrian, the rod of mine anger. So the Assyrian was an instrument of Yahweh. O Assyrian, the rod of mine anger, and the staff in their hand is my indignation. So we know that the Assyrians came and overthrew our people, but they were an instrument of the Most High. The Assyrian came because Yahweh sent him. Verse 6, I will send him against the hypocritical nation, and against the people of my wrath will I give him a charge, to take the spoil and to take the prey, and to tread them down like the mire of the streets. Judgment was being sent here through the hand of the Assyrians. Yes, it was the Assyrians that plundered us, but it was through the order of Yahweh. Okay, so and Scripture continues to tell us in Proverbs 21. Let's get that. Proverbs 21 and 1 says, the king's heart is in the hand of Yahweh. As the rivers of water, he turneth whithersoever he will. So the Assyrians going and doing that was a thought that was put into the minds of them by Yahweh. Now, just to expand on this too, let's get the blue letter of heart, because this isn't talking about the actual heart. Okay, the Hebrew word for heart is lab, and the definition read the inner man, the mind, the will, the understanding, the mind or the knowledge, the thinking, the inclination or the resolution. So Proverbs 21 and 1 can be read that the king's mind is in the hand of Yahweh. As the rivers of water, he turns wherever Yahweh wills. So all all of this judgment coming to Babylon, whether it's through Putin or whether it's through North Korea or whether it's through the Iranians, this is judgment being sent to Babylon by Yahweh through the actions of other nations. Okay? Because I've just shown that Proverbs 21 and 1, the mind is in the hand of the Most High. So let's go back to Second Ezra. Now that we have the understanding that judgment is of Yahweh, but it comes through other nations. Let's just kind of circle back here. Second Ezra 16 and 13. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shoots are sharp and shall not miss. So every bomb being sent is going to hit its target when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. So now we understand it's judgment of Yahweh, but he uses the kings of the earth and men to bring that judgment by. So what are these arrows? Again, these are thermonuclear missiles. Okay? I'm going to show you this here in Isaiah 24 and 19. Again, these are Bible verses that specifically point to thermonuclear destruction, but are not being brought forth by the Christian church. Isaiah 24 and 19. The earth is utterly broken down. The earth is clean dissolved. The earth is moved exceedingly. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cottage, and the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again. Scriptures like this can't be explained other than nuclear destruction. The earth being shaken is Yahweh visiting the earth and sending judgment. It moving to and fro is the power of the bombs. And who is his judgment directed at? Because continuing on in verse 21, it says, and it shall come to pass in that day that Yahweh shall punish the host of the high ones that are on high, and the kings of the earth upon the earth. So this judgment is being sent for one specific group of people, those who sit on high. Now, who does that sound like? Let's get Obadiah 1, verse 4. Obadiah 1 and 4 is a chapter specifically talking about the destruction of Edom. Okay? Obadiah 1 and 4. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith Yahweh. So this judgment is directed at Esau, Edom, who we know to be the so-called white man. So far we've established that judgment comes through others by the order of Yahweh, and we're starting to get into the thermonuclear destruction. This destruction is aimed at Esau and Babylon. This is the Babylon in the book of Revelations. Second Ezra tells us about the arrows being shot, and I also do want to mention that the arrows being shot are by his right hand. Now, in scripture, well, we know that there are spirits on the left hand that are for evil work, and then that there are spirits on the right hand that are for just work. And Second Ezra says that the right hand that bendeth the bow shall not miss, because this is perfect judgment. This this isn't judgment being sent on the left hand side because of Yahweh's evil. No, this is perfect judgment being set forth by the right hand. This is perfect and just judgment to to um to Babylon. And then just just to get some clarification, because I know that we just read that the earth is going to go to and fro and that it's going to be destroyed. That earth is talking about Babylon, because Ecclesiastes 1 and 4 tells us that this earth is not going to pass away. There are going to be nukes that are shot off, but the planet Earth is going to stay here. The earth that is passing away is the rulership of Esau Edom. Ecclesiastes 1 and 4 says, one generation passes away and another generation comes, but the earth abides forever. Okay, the earth abides forever. Babylon is going to be taken out and it's going to be forever burning, but the planet Earth will stay here. Again, let's bring in let's bring this one up. This wasn't in my plan, but Second Ezra 6 and 9 says, Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. How can Jacob come? How can Jacob come after it if the earth is gone? The answer is the earth is still going to be here. So continuing on, let's get some more scripture about the thermonuclear destruction, because this is what's happening now. We're starting to see other nations gather themselves against Babylon the Great. This is Jeremiah 51 and 1. Thus saith Yahweh, behold, I will raise up against Babylon, and against them that dwell in the midst of them, that rise up against me a destroying wind. What is that destroying wind? That is the impact after the explosion. Okay? Verse 2. And I will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her and shall empty her land. For in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. Against him that bendeth, let the archer bend his bow, and against him that lifteth himself up in his brigandine, and spare ye not her young men, destroy ye utterly all her hosts. So America, which is Babylon the Great, is going to be destroyed by those fanners. Who are those fanners? Those fanners are the other nations that are aligning themselves against Babylon the Great. Russia, North Korea, Iran, anybody that has ever had any issue against America, and even Great Britain, because the book of Revelation tells us that that the beast is going to turn against the dragon. Our own allies are going to be shooting these into America. Scriptures like this cannot be taken in any other way other than thermonuclear destruction. Let's get another one here. This is Jeremiah 50, verse 9. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country. How is he going to raise them up? Because according to Proverbs 21, he's going to put that thought into the king's mind. Let's continue on. And they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. Again, you cannot shoot a bow and arrow from the Middle East across the world. These arrows are talking about the thermonuclear missiles being shot. And I do want to point out that it says, none shall return in vain. Every missile is going to hit its mark. These are the same arrows mentioned in that first scripture of 2nd Ezra 16 and 13. Let's continue on. And again, I do want to bring up that anytime we are reading scripture, we have to be able to back up scripture with other scriptures. Okay, and so just to back up the fact that none of these missiles are going to miss, this is Joel 2 and 7. They shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war. And they shall march every one on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks. Every missile is going to hit its target, and they're not going to break formation. Every city that America and every target that the Most High has set to be hit is going to be hit. None of these missiles are going to miss, because that has to be brought out, because there's talk about America having a defense system. It doesn't matter what kind of defense system Babylon has; these bombs are going to hit. There's a very famous story about chariots, so-called UFOs, disarming a nuclear missile that America had launched back in, I think it was like the 1970s, but they've got video of it. They've got video of a nuke being shot up, and then a chariot comes into the picture and it shoots a beam into four directions of the missile and it disables it. So every missile's going to hit, and it doesn't matter what kind of protection or what kind of iron dome America or Amalek may have. It's gonna hit their ranks. And when it's talking about they shall climb the wall like men of war, well, what is a wall? A wall is a defense system. So every missile is gonna pass that defense system. They're not gonna miss. Again, these are scriptures that are in the Bible that when you read it, it's like, wow. Let's get 2 Peter 3 and 10. But the day of the Most High will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise. Now we know the heavens because, again, earth is gonna stay here, but the heavens is the rulership of Esau Edom. Heaven is rulership, and hell is subjugation. Continuing on. In the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. So this is talking about a heat so strong that it's going to burn the elements. Steel is going to be burned. Oxygen is going to be burned. Copper is going to be burned. What kind of heat causes the elements to be burned? How does Christianity explain this scripture? It's through thermonuclear destruction. And again, scriptures like this are throughout the Bible, but these are just some of the more obvious ones that I'm bringing out, so that hopefully your spirit can receive this, because whether you want to believe it or not, judgment is coming. We just have to be ready for that day. Let's get Zechariah 14 and 12, and then I've got one more to close this out. This is Zechariah 14 and 12. And this shall be the plague wherewith Yahweh will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Okay, and when it says Jerusalem, it's talking about the people, because America has fought against us. They've killed the saints. They've sacrificed the image of Yahweh. That's the Jerusalem is talking about. It's talking about the people, because we are a people. Jerusalem and Israel is a people before they were a land. All right. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. This, for any of those that are old enough, if you remember the movie Terminator, the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger, there's a dream where the lady has a dream of the bomb being dropped, and it shows this. I mean, this is that's a perfect visualization of this. How can your eyeballs melt while you stand? Is through thermonuclear destruction that is going to take out Babylon the Great. This is the last verse that I want to get. Malachi 4 and 1. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud. And who is that proud man? Esau Edom. That's mentioned again in the book of Obadiah. Yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble, and the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith Yahweh of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. So Babylon will never recover from the thermonuclear destruction being sent. I hope that this lesson has been edifying. I encourage those to go back and read the scriptures. And with that, I say shalom.